Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talks podcast. And today we're going to be previewing the Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United game. And this one seems to be one of the most important games we're ever going to actually have this season because of what it signifies or what it stands for, as to the fact that Manchester United consistently lose to Spurs. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to break down the game. We're going to break down everything. We're going to do tactical analysis as is with the culture of this channel. So you are welcome to the match preview show of United Talks podcast. So basically, this is not just another Premier League fixture. It's a personal. It is a personal matter. It's personal for Manchester United after losing 4 times to Tottenham Hotspur last season, including an agonizing 1-0 defeat at the Europa League Final in Bilbao. So for Rúben Amorim, the mission is simple: revenge, redemption, and resilience. The Rúben's men have a score to settle: 4 consecutive defeats to Spurs. Now, United will travel to North London with confidence high after a solid October, unbeaten in 4 and showing, real signs of progress, after recently drawing to Nottingham Forest. But we face a Spurs side under new management led by Thomas Frank, who brought, tactical discipline and defensive structure as opposed to the swashbuckling Spurs of Ange Postecoglou. Now it's more a pragmatic, methodical version, but for United, it's all about proving that this is a new era, one built on control, maturity, and a burning desire for for righting last season's wrongs. Now, if we're going to talk about that, obviously, we went into that Europa League final game with so much confidence that we're going to be Spurs, and more than half of players in that team are here, barring a certain Rasmus Højlund and Alejandro Garnacho and Anthony and the likes. But more than half of the team are still here to face Spurs. We lost 4 times last season to Spurs, to Ange Postecoglou's Spurs. It all boils down to a couple things, right? So we have to just kind of look at this game and know what we want to achieve, which takes us straight over to our head-to-head. Basically, if we're looking at our head-to-head, you could tell Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur share one of the Premier League's most competitive modern rivalries. Historically, United hold the upper hand with 96 wins to Spurs' 57, alongside, with 96 wins, as opposed to Spurs' 57, alongside 51 draws between both teams. Other sites will say there are 51 wins for Spurs, 94 wins for United, and 48 draws for both teams. But however, the recent narrative has shifted dramatically with Spurs, who are unbeaten in the last 6 meetings with Manchester United. The last 6 meetings against Manchester United. That is, in fact, in the last 5 games, 4 wins, 1 draw. So this run includes 4 wins last season, 2 in the league, and 1 in the Carabao Cup, and 1 in the Europa League Final. And it's been a dominance from the North Londoners. And that's something Amorim's side will be desperate to overturn. Now, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, United's fortunes have been mixed. After early success in the post-pandemic years and back-to-back wins like 3-1 and 3-0, Man United have since gone 3 visits without a victory, drawing once, and that's the one we drew, and then losing the last 2. And Saturday's game offers a chance to flip the script and end this painful sequence. You look at the Premier League form guide with regards to that. I'll just give you a breakdown. Basically, in the last 5 games, Spurs have won. Okay, so they won in the last 5 games in the Premier League. They've won 2, lost 2, and drawn 1, losing their last game 1-0 to Chelsea. And then for Man United, it's been 4 games unbeaten in the last 5, losing 1, winning 3, and drawing 1. the last game happening as a 2-2 draw at 2-2 draw at Nottingham Forest. Now, the table also speaks its own. Spurs are on the same points with Manchester United, albeit higher than Man United on goals difference. Man United are ranked 8th on the table. Spurs are ranked 6th on the table. Then you look at like all the general stats between both teams in recent history: 5 wins for both teams, 2 draws for both teams, and 3 losses for both teams. Same as all competitions. Man United have 5 wins, 3 draws, and 3 losses, while Spurs have 8 wins, 5 draws, and 4 losses in all competitions. So, if you count the Grimsby Town game, it's counted as a draw, but we lost to Grimsby Town on penalties. But it is what it is. So, as it stands, United don't have the upper hand in this one, considering that Spurs have been the bane of our existence, especially for last season. Manchester United will come into this fixture in improving form, obviously, from after a tough start to the season that included a 4-3 defeat to Brentford. Manchester United will also, a 3-0 defeat, 3-1 defeat to Brentford, 3-1 defeat Brentford. Now, Amorim's side has found rhythm. There's 3 wins and a draw since the start of October. And the 2-2 draw away at Nottingham Forest last weekend extended the unbeaten streak to 4, showcasing resilience and but also highlighting defensive lapses that still needs to be sorted out or needs ironing out. Now, United currently sits 6th in the table, as I said just a few seconds ago. Just the same, I think we sit 6th with 1 point away from top 4 and 2 points away from second, sitting second, right? Now, basically, if we're looking at team ranks for both teams, Manchester United fifth with Spurs 17 points each. Shots, we're second. Spurs are we're second with 135 shots. Spurs are 17th with 91 shots. With assists, Spurs have 14 assists, second. Man United have 11 assists, sixth. And then for saves, Spurs are third with 33 saves, which means they've faced more shots, I believe. And then Man United are 16th with 22 saves, just 11 saves lesser than Spurs. So as you look at goals, Spurs have 21, United have 12, and that is 5th and 18th consecutively. And Man United are 3rd on red cards. Spurs have a 9th on red cards, which is 0. So if we're looking further, obviously, Spurs are the Premier League's. United currently sits 6th, as I said, just a few points off the top 4, and remain the Premier League's joint top scorers in October with 10 goals. Amorim's system is fluid, aggressive, and vertical, and finally seems to be producing results. But Spurs, meanwhile, have been inconsistent under Thomas Frank. Their away record is the best in the league, including a stunning 2-0 victory over Manchester City. But their home form is poor. Just 1 league win at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium all season, coming on opening weekend against Burnley. And they've also drawn 1 and lost twice at home in Premier League, and were knocked out of the Carabao Cup by Newcastle. Now, the atmosphere around the club has been uneasy a little bit because the fans are turning on the manager right now, with frustrations from fans over lack of attacking spark despite improved defensive stability. Still, Spurs have shown that they can rise to the occasion against elite oppositions, and this fixture tends to bring the best out of them. So, if we're looking at other things with regards to, before we get into tactical analysis, with regards to like other head-to-head stats and stuff, you look at the head-to-head stats of the player, as you can see in this display on the screen. The top performers is Richarlison and Brennan Johnson, who played in the UEFA Champions League, scored a goal and then got a red card. He's one of the top performers, as well as like other players, including just having a quick look here. With other players, including so they have Matistel, who's played like 236 minutes. He's got a goal as well. Then we have Xavi Simons, who's turning out to be one of the flops of the season anyway. He's had 1 assist and 3 shots. And then you have Wilson Odebear, who played 334 minutes. Compared to Brian Bumo, who's our top performer this season, he's got 4 goals and 1 assist. But in all competitions, he has 5 goals and 1 assist. Benjamin Šeško, 2 goals, 1 assist. Panter Škunia, 1 goal after 15 shots. And then Joshua Zirkzee has played he has played 5 games, 82 minutes. And then you go to midfielders and Pape Matassa, one of the top performers, Japalini as well, recently loaned from Bayern Munich, one of the top performers as well, 784 minutes, same as Mohamed Kudus, top performers, more minutes than all of them in the midfield, 879. Lucas Bergvall, 414 minutes, as well as Rodrigo Bentancur, who has 647 minutes. Compared to Man United's midfield, where Casemiro is the top performer with 3 goals, 1 assist, 547 minutes. Bruno Fernandes, 2 goals, 2 assists, with 7 shots on target, 892 minutes. Then Amad Diallo, 1 goal, 1 assist, 667 minutes. Mason Mount, one goal. And then he's had 5 starts with 334 minutes, as well as Manuel Ugarte, who has 283 minutes played, no goals, no assists. Kobe Menu, 138 minutes, the list of minutes. Then we come to defense. Our top performer obviously is Matthijs de Ligt, and their top performer is Mickey van der Ven, 890 minutes, and he has scored 3 goals, and he has had 3 shots on target of 5 that he shot. So these are the stats. And then we go to goalkeepers. So Lamens, 6 starts, 540 minutes, no goals conceded. He's still unbeaten. Meanwhile, Guillermo Vicario has conceded many goals, 900 minutes, 10 starts. So some of those things you have to look at, and when you analyze and break down into details and stuff, which takes us to the tactical analysis as to how Spurs play. We look at under Thomas Frank, they have reshaped. Thomas Frank has actually reshaped Tottenham into a tactically flexible and pragmatic side, emphasizing defensive solidity and structural discipline. A stark contrast to Ange Postecoglou's high-risk, high-line philosophy. Now, Spurs' tactical shift between 4-3-3 and 3-5-2 formations, depending on the opponent, they actually switch between these formations. Frank's priority is control out of possession. He wants compactness between the lines, a low to mid block when defending, and the intensity in pressing triggers when the opponent enters central zones. Now, his system is built around adaptability. Pressing high against possession teams like Arsenal and City, or sitting deep, countering against sides like United, who prefer to build through transitions. Now, Frank's teams rely on width and direct play, basically with fullbacks like Destiny Udogie or Pedro Porro or even Jet Spence, tasked with stretching the field, and Tottenham also remain dangerous on set pieces, an area Frank's former Brentford side are always excelling in. So, however, the biggest issue with Frank has been chance creation. Without consistent output from attacking midfielders like Maddison, who is injured, Kulusevski, who is injured, Spurs' possession out of often looks, sterile. They rank among the bottom 5 in the league for shot creating actions from open play since middle of September. And they only always score set pieces. Imagine in a game where Spurs played and they scored 2 set pieces. I think 2 set pieces from Mickey van der Ven. I think it's against Everton, if I remember that game correctly. So, the key player for Spurs this time, before we go to key players, we'll go to predicted lineup for Spurs. So for predicted lineup for Spurs, in this case, is Vicario in net, based on the last game that they played. Mickey van der Ven and Kevin Danso in the middle of the park. And then you have Pedro Porro on the right, and you have Jet Spence on the left, and then Rodrigo Bentancur and João Palhinha in the middle in their 4-2-3-1 formation. Pape Matassa in the middle of the park as an attacking midfielder. Mohamed Kudus on the right, if he is back from injury, but I hear he's going to be ready for United. And then Bergvall on the left, Bergvall, I don't like. I don't like that guy because of what he did to us in the cup against Bayern Dare. He literally held the keeper's hands when they crossed that set piece that led to the goal that was scored from the corner. Absolutely Bergvall. Anyway, we go to the attack. Apparently, Thomas Frank prefers Kolomwani over Dominic Solanke or Richarlison and all of that. So that's the lineup we're going to use. I think this is the lineup that faced Chelsea. So we're going to go with this one. And their key player for this Spurs side is Mohamed Kudus. 15 games, 1,182 minutes played, 1 goal, 4 assists. He's not putting in good numbers anyway. For the 25-year-old Ghana international, he hasn't scored in the last 4 games. But yeah, he's the key player. He's the attacking threat. He always creates assists. I mean, he has 4 assists, right? Plays on the right, so it will be very important to see who our left wing back will be and how the left wing back will deal with Mohamed Kudus. Then we go to how Manchester United play against under Rúben Amorim, the statistical analysis of Manchester United. Rúben Amorim is Manchester United steadily becoming what he envisioned, a hybrid of control and vertical aggression. Now, the base shape remains a 3-4-3 through, though in possession it often morphs into a 3-2-5, with wing backs pushing high, and Bruno operating as a free central zones as a free roaming player. Then Amorim's philosophy is centered on compact pressing, intelligent rotations, and fluid build-up. Now, the midfield pairing of Casemiro and Bruno provides balance, one shielding and the other breaking lines. While the front of Cunha, Mbomo, and Sesko focuses on positional interchanges to destabilize rigid defenses. You could think about the option of using Mount in place of one of the attacking players or in place of Sesko, depending on how Amorim is feeling on the day. Defensively, United have looked sharper with De Ligt or Maguire, or even like the steady back three of De Ligt, Shaw, and Euro, offering flexibility, especially on the left and on the right. And Amorim's biggest improvement has also been structural. United concede fewer chances in open play and recover possession faster after losing it. But then the chances that Man United concede are more of high quality chances than just so even in the few chances we still concede high quality chances that become goals. So there's still vulnerability in the air duels and defensive transitions, as we noticed against Nottingham Forest. And Spurs could also look to exploit with direct long balls and overlapping fullbacks, and especially with set pieces. So before we go to the key strategies, we'll talk about the key players. But I think Man United needs to be ready for Spurs in this situation. And then we go over to the predicted lineup for Manchester United. We goes with Seno Lammens in net. Seno Lammens has not tasted any form of defeat whatsoever, and long may it continue. He's played 5 games and he's played 4 games and he's had 3 wins and 1 draw in net. And then we have De Ligt. I think Seno Lammens has considered 5 goals, but we scored 10 or 11 in the last 4 games. So yeah. Now Matthias De Ligt, Len Euro, and Luke Shaw. This back four of Lemons, De Ligt, Euro, and Shaw will be the back four for the 3rd game running, I believe. I know Maguire is fit, and he was fit enough to be on the bench in the last game. So maybe if we're going to deal with area prowess, then one of either Euro or Shaw will go out. But I think it's going to be Euro anyway. Then we have another in the midfield. We go with Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. That's our midfield combination. That's the only midfield we have, literally. You can't tell me anything differently, even though you want to mention Kobe Mino and stuff. But it is what it is. Casemiro and Fernandes, and that's what we're going to start with. Now, on the wing back situation, that's where I have a bit of a concern. Diogo Dalot has been getting some pelters lately, but it will be good to see Patrick Dogu start on the left wing back, while Ahmad starts on the right wing back. And then we have Matheus Cunha and Brian Mbomo playing as our 2-10s. They are 2-star players anyway. And they are the outlets we have when it comes to goals. And then Benjamin Sesko, who has been dubbed as looking awkward by our wonderful Harry Maguire, Gary Neville. But it is what it is. Benjamin Sesko is gonna come good. It's just 21. It still has a lot of time. This team is pretty much a young team, except barring Bruno and Casemiro. The rest are pretty much in their 20s. Bruno, Casemiro, and Shaw, right? Who is either 30 or over. But it is what it is. I mean, Bruno is 31, Casemiro is 33, and then you have Shaw who's 30. So it is what it is. Key player for Manchester United. No, so key player for Manchester United. For this game, I would not go with the usual suspect. I'll go with the one that I know has made impacts for the last couple of games. That is Mateusz Cunha. Mateusz Cunha, basically, I think 10 games, 702 minutes, so 762 minutes. Yep. 762 minutes, one goal, scored in the last, he scored in the last two games anyway. He scored against Brighton, and that was his first goal for Man United at home, and now going away again to Spurs. So hopefully we get a win. Spurs are not good at home. So now another key player to watch is another star boy we have, and that is in the person of Bryan Mbeumo. Bryan Mbeumo has played 11 games, 910 minutes, and basically 5 goals and 1 assist rather. 5 goals, one against Grimsby Town, and then the other 4 against Premier League sides. Burnley, Liverpool, Brighton, 2 against Brighton, right? So it is what it is. So the next thing we'll talk about is keys. No, so speaking further on Mateusz Cunha, he's quickly becoming, centerpiece of Amorim's attack. His movement between the lines, pressing, work rate, and ability to hold the ball under pressure and have other players, bring other players in, even to drag the ball forward while we transition is very key and invaluable in this team. The Brazilian has, 4 goal contributions in the last 5 matches. Not really like scoring, but involved in the goals. And his knack for dragging defenders out of position creates pockets for Bruno, for Bryan Mbeumo and co to thrive in. Against a disciplined Spurs backline, Cunha's pressing and transitional sharpness could make the difference, especially if he forces errors from Tottenham's build-up under pressure. Which takes me to the key strategies for Manchester United to win against Spurs. First and foremost, I always bring 4. So the first one is to exploit Spurs' slow transitions. That's one of the key strategies to beat Spurs. Tottenham's midfield can be caught high when switching from attack to defense. United's vertical pace through Cunha and Mbeumo must capitalize on those open channels early, especially when they have a weak midfield with this guy. What's his name? Xavi Simons just being, slow and stuff. Considering what I watched against Chelsea, though. The next one we'll talk about basically when it comes to key strategies to win is to dominate the middle third, basically. Frank's structure relies on narrow lines. Bruno Fernandes and Mount must find space between Bissouma and, if Bissouma is playing, or Bentancur and Palunia, right? Using quick passing triangles to stretch the shape. So we need to dominate the middle of the park with add +1. We should add +1 with Cunha dropping into the middle to create a 3 midfield, so are not outnumbered when they play 4-2-3-1. Also set piece awareness in order not to lose to Spurs. Spurs under Frank are excellent in attacking and defending set pieces, so United must match their physical intensity and capitalize on second balls in attacking corners, especially with our informed header or in Casemiro. And if Maguire is starting, then most potentially Maguire could be in that game. Then the 4th and final strategy for Man United to win is to control the emotional tempo. This fixture carries emotional weight. After last season's heartbreak, United can't get dragged into Spurs' pressing chaos. Keeping composure, especially in the opening 20 minutes, will be key, to silencing the home crowd. And that is what's key for us, especially the first 10, 20 minutes. That will be key in how we handle this game or how we deal with the game. So to wrap things up here, I would say, Saturday's clash in North London is more than just a Premier League fixture. It is about redemption, it's about revenge, and it's about resilience. Manchester United's last memory against Tottenham is one of anguish in Bilbao, and Amorim's men will be eager to show how far they've come since then. Now, Spurs remain unpredictable under Thomas Frank. Today they are cold, tomorrow they are hot, compact, stubborn, and struggling creatively. They struggle creatively, but United, meanwhile, are growing in confidence and tactical cohesion. And the truth is, the draw at Forest helped us to understand that we should, when we go ahead, we should try to keep control and play mature, and all of that. But it is what it is. So basically, if Amorim's side can basically maintain their composure and stay ruthless in transition, this could finally be the game where Manchester United flips the narrative and turn last season's torment into this season's triumph. Now, the fact is, we're 17 points. We're on 17 points, same level on points with Spurs. If we beat them, then we go to 20 points and we climb higher up the table above Spurs. But which brings me to my predicted score line for this one. Seeing as the last couple of games we've been conceding goals, we even considered against Liverpool. The only clean sheet we kept was against Sunderland. I don't see us keeping any clean sheet, but I see us winning very well. So I'll predict this is my prediction. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 3. A statement win on the road, and the one that says that this team is learning to handle the big moments again. We'll come into this game looking like we're the underdogs, and this is an opportunity for us to take full advantage against Spurs. Because in truth, it will be like revenge. And if you look at the way the script has been going this season, we've been flipping all those games that we lost into wins. Against Nottingham Forest last season, we lost, we drew them now. At home, in their home. Against Brighton, we lost last season, we drew them. We lost 3 consecutive games against Brighton, we beat them. Then against Chelsea, it was a struggle last season, we beat them. Right? Against Liverpool, we played 2-2 last season at Anfield. We could have scored. Harry Maguire would have been the winner, but was that shot he blazed over the bar, we beat them. So there's a high chance that we are going to beat Spurs, despite the fact that they're at home and their home form is very poor. Even just went there to beat them, we can beat them. 3-1 is my prediction. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. Let me know your predictions in the comment section and your predicted lineup as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye. And God bless.